Draw Wignall with me while I talk about Wistoria Wand and Sword. I'm starting a series where I draw characters while I give a review of the book or manga that it's from. So if you have any series or manga recommendations that you'd like to see me draw or talk about, let me know in the comments and I'll take a look. Today's title is Wistoria Wand and Sword. I'm covering the manga only. I have not seen the anime, and I've read up through chapter 45-ish, whatever they have published in English. My initial thoughts of this series is that it's basically like My Hero Academia Harry Potter edition, which is fine because I like both of those things. But we start with our protagonist Will, and he is a 16-year-old who cannot use magic, but he goes to a school exclusively for magicians, and he gets bullied and people make fun of him and are confused why he's trying to become a mage when he cannot use magic. He is, however, a very hard worker and has unusually good physical prowess, so what he doesn't have in magic he is making up for in other ways, and his goal is to become a mage so that he can join his best friend and first love, who is a prodigy magic user, and she is currently at the top of the tower with the most powerful mages in the series. I am really into fantasy series at the moment, so I really enjoyed the series for the most part. I did have a few complaints, the first one being the fan service. It wasn't that there was a lot of fan service moments, it was more that the character designs and a couple of the angles were just not really appropriate for the ages that were being shown. They never really commented on the women's bodies, it was just the character designs, so it didn't bother me as much as some series. The second thing was that most of the female characters were in love with the protagonist, Will, and it's not that that's terrible, but it definitely makes them more shallow, and that was used kind of as a crutch to not have to develop them as much as some of the male characters, which was kind of a bummer because some of the male characters were pretty interesting and fun to read about, but I found that a lot of the female characters were more shallow, which there was later on one character that's just friends with Will, and they did start to develop her, so that was good. And maybe they'll develop the other ones later in the series, but I just found that the ones that were in love with the protagonist are just, that's like their personality, which was kind of a bummer. All that said though, I did still really enjoy this series. I liked the magic system and I liked the academic setting. It's also super satisfying to see a character that works as hard as Will does finally accomplish his goals, which like he's obviously still working towards, but you actually see the payoff of it, and it just makes it much more enjoyable when they have to work as hard as he does to accomplish that. I liked the world building around the tower. There wasn't too much world building outside of the tower, but the tower itself and the academy and the dungeon and stuff I thought was cool. The way that they had it set up with the different levels of magic. So overall I did enjoy the series as sort of a shonen Harry Potter type series. And my favorite character obviously was Wignall, but I also like Julius. He really grew on me considering he was awful and then he kind of ends up being a fun character. So anyway, thanks for watching.